Good morning, and you're now watching the morning edition of NBT World Brief. I'm Surapan Lautaranarit. Deputy Prime Minister and Transport Minister Pipat Ratchakit Prakan says the government is pushing ahead with plans to restructure fuel pricing to help reduce the cost of living. In a post on the minister's personal Facebook page, Mr. Pipat said the government is closely monitoring public concerns over fuel prices and has not ignored the issue. The Finance and Energy Ministries are set to submit the proposal to the Cabinet today. The proposal focuses on reviewing key cost components, including refinery margins and the overall pricing structure, and major factors affecting the transport sector. Key measures include reassessing costs that may no longer reflect current conditions, such as transportation fees, insurance, and war premiums, to ensure fuel prices better align with actual costs. Officials say fuel prices are a major driver of transport costs and directly impact public fares. The Transport Ministry will also closely supervise fare rates for public transportation to ensure costs are not passed on unfairly to the public. Authorities have assured that fuel supplies will remain sufficient to support travel demand during the SONGKRAN festival, while efforts continue to keep transport costs fair and manageable. Authorities are stepping up efforts to tackle worsening haze and wildfire conditions in northern Thailand as rainmaking operations begin to show results alongside reinforced ground missions. Air quality in parts of the north remains at critical levels, with Chiang Mai reporting AQI readings above 220, posing serious health risks. Authorities say rainmaking operations are now beginning to yield results, with rainfall recorded in some northern areas following intensified missions. Radar images show developing rain clouds after continuous flights by the Royal Rainmaking Unit in Chiang Mai, carried out on Sunday. 6 flights were conducted in the morning using water spraying, dry ice seeding, and cloud formation techniques over Chiang Mai and Mae Hong Son. Operations continued into the afternoon with 7 aircraft carrying out 8 additional flights across Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, Lampang, and Mae Hong Son. Authorities are also seeding clouds in multiple locations to increase the chances of rainfall in targeted areas. On the ground, efforts to contain wildfires are also being reinforced. More than 700 territorial defense volunteers from 14 provinces have been deployed across 16 districts in Chiang Mai. Their missions include firefighting, forest patrols to prevent illegal encroachment, and raising public awareness about haze and PM 2.5 pollution. Officials say safety remains a top priority, with local leaders and fire control teams overseeing operations. The volunteers will remain on duty until the situation improves, with rotations planned to prevent fatigue.
ในพื้นที่เขามีความชำนาญนะครับหนึ่งเนี่ยทางกำนันผู้ใหญ่บ้านนะครับแล้วก็อาสาดับไฟป่าในพื้นที่แล้วก็องค์กรปกครองส่วนถิ่นไม่ว่าเป็นอปพลชลบอะไรต่างๆนะครับที่อยู่ในพื้นที่เขาจะมีความชำนาญรวมทั้งหน่วยป่าไม้ในพื้นที่นะครับไม่ว่าจะเป็นอุทยานหน่วยป่าไม้ต่างๆนะครับก็จะมีความชำนาญในเรื่องเหล่านี้ในพื้นที่เราก็จะเป็นกำลังเสริมนะครับในการเข้าไปเผชิญผมเน้นย้ำในเรื่องของความปลอดภัยนะครับเพราะว่าบางท่านเนี่ยมาจากพื้นที่ที่ไม่มีป่ามีเขาการเข้าไปเนี่ยมันก็อาจจะลำบากนะครับเรื่องของปลอดภัยเป็นอันดับหนึ่ง
Meanwhile, a major reinforcement of wildfire response teams has been launched ahead of the SONGKRAN holidays. A total of 380 specialized personnel from the Department of National Parks, Wildlife and Plant Conservation and the Royal Forest Department have been deployed, supported by around 1,900 local officers. An additional 500 personnel are set to be mobilized from low-risk areas to rotate with frontline teams who have been working non-stop for nearly a month. Thailand's exports posted strong growth in the first 2 months of 2026, but officials warn the outlook for the rest of the year remains uncertain. The Trade Policy and Strategy Office, or TPSO, says export performance in the first 2 months of the year remains solid. Total exports exceeded $61 billion, up 17% year-on-year. Imports rose to over $67 billion, resulting in a trade deficit of around $6.1 billion. Despite the strong start, full-year exports are expected to face pressure from global conflicts and rising costs. A temporary U.S. tariff reduction on Thai imports has supported short-term shipments. However, tensions in the Middle East, particularly around the Strait of Hormuz, remain a key risk, pushing up energy, production and transport costs and potentially weakening demand. The TPSO has outlined scenarios for 2026. In the best case, exports could grow by 1.1%, with average monthly value at about $28.3 billion. In the worst case, exports could fall by 3% to around $26.8 billion per month.
ปัจจัยที่เราทราบกันนะคะว่าอย่างน้อยเรื่องค่าระวางเรือการขนส่งนะคะวัตถุดิบนะคะที่นำเข้ามานะคะแล้วก็ราคาน้ำมันที่ใช้สำหรับเครื่องจักรในการผลิตเนี่ยนะคะค่ะก็คือแต่ว่าเราก็ตั้งเป้าไว้คือเราก็ยังมองเป้าเป็น3ส่วนอยู่นะคะก็คือในแง่ดีที่สุดเนี่ยก็คืออาจจะยังเป็นบวกนิดนึงบวก 1.1 นะคะกรณีที่ดีที่สุดเนี่ยนะคะในกรณีที่กลางๆเนี่ยนะคะก็ติดลบ1นะคะกรณีฐานแล้วกรณีที่ต่ำสุดเนี่ยก็ติดลบ 3% นะคะอันนี้ก็คือเป็นตั้งเป้าไว้แต่เดี๋ยวเราจะพยายามจะคือเราจะตั้งเป้าเป็นทุกไตรมาสนะคะ
The Commerce Ministry has placed key items, including sauces, bottled water, and plastic pellets, under price control for 1 year, aiming to prevent opportunistic price increases. The regulation, signed by Commerce Minister Suphaji Suthampan as chair of the Central Committee on Prices of Goods and Services, or CPC, will take effect on April 7, 2026, and remain in force nationwide for 1 year. Under the new rules, exporters can still ship crude palm oil overseas, but only with official approval from the committee's Secretary General. Officials say the move comes as global oil prices rise, partly due to tensions in the Middle East, driving up energy costs. This has led Thailand's energy sector to consider increasing the biodiesel blending ratio in diesel, boosting domestic demand for crude palm oil. At the same time, export demand has also increased, putting additional pressure on supply. Authorities say the measures are aimed at ensuring sufficient domestic supply and maintaining balance across consumption, industry, and energy sectors throughout the year. Book lovers are making a final dash to Thailand's biggest literary event as the National Book Fair wraps up today with deep discounts. Today marks the final day of the 54th National Book Fair and the 24th Bangkok International Book Fair at the Queen Sirikit National Convention Center. The atmosphere over the weekend remained lively with strong crowds throughout. While the highlights is the zone for rare and second-hand books, attracting collectors and classic literature enthusiasts. Prices start as low as 20 baht, adding to the buzz. Collections of vintage books, Thai textile pattern publications, temple archives, and classic literature are also drawing strong interest among book lovers. Organizers say today is a final chance to enjoy the no carry-back sale, with publishers offering their biggest promotions, discounts of up to 80% before the event closes at 9 p.m. And that's a wrap for our morning news report. You can stay updated with the latest developments and more stories by simply scanning the QR code on your screen to access our full coverage across all media platforms. Thank you for watching. I'm Surapan Lautharanarit. สวัสดีครับ